It's Drake!
Yay! Jewel Power Drake.
Yeah. So Drake is kind of vastly different from screen to toy.
I mean, everything.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, of course, in the prototype stage, he started out with pink pants, which eventually got replaced with that sort of muddy brown.
Right.
Color.
Which, in the show, it's golden.
It's like a golden tan, like a khaki. They did mold his dagger to his leg, which is kind of fun.
I don't think that he actually ever... I mean, I think that there is kind of a belt that goes around it. It's just not always seen in the artwork.
Yeah. But it always bugged me as a kid that the pack basically wore, like, maroon jackets and vests as they're under their armor. And this Drake has, like, a pale purple...
I think I also didn't like it because, again, I wanted the pieces to be painted separately. Like, the belt should have been more pronounced. Like, why is the purple belt with a purple...
The belt is just molded in the same color as the shirt. And, I mean, I'm sure, actually, that Drake, from top to bottom, is probably molded in that purple color. And then it's just painted for the pants and the boots.
Yeah.
The boots are actually fairly accurate color-wise to that sort of bluish purple that they are in the show. Of course, they're missing the painted details.
Right. But at least they have, like, the little four stones on them. Again, the four stones should have been painted.
Right, it should have been painted. The armor is actually pretty much the correct color. It's that dark blue, almost purple color. And that is correct for both the armor chest plate and the arm braces.
I'm going to talk about the cape.
Yes.
So, the cape for me, it should have been longer on the toy.
Yes.
I know it has the flaps, and he does have flaps on his Jewel Power outfit as well. But I guess it feels much more different in the animation versus the toy design.
Well, I'm sure you've noticed on the toy that the top piece of the cape just curls right back up.
Always,
like,
yes.
Like as if you would put curlers in it.
At least in the packaging it's flat, but it's just once you open it, they start to curl.
Yeah, and then it'll never go back down, no matter how much you stretch it or whatever. I suppose I could take an iron to it, but I'm kind of afraid to do that.
No, don't do that.
I mean, the cape is also this... It's almost like a tamara teal on the toy. And it's much more like bright green.
Not like forest green, but like a not lime.
It's not a lime. It's just like a bright grassy green color.
Forest.
Yeah, exactly.
The grass, the color of the trees.
And it's more like Drake has a very red sort of like palette in the show. Like his skin's a little redder. His shirt is red. He's got the redder brown of the pants, the brighter green.
Brown hair.
Yeah, and it's sort of like if you slid the contrast over to the blue side, you get the toy. You got the toy.
Well, and speaking of browns to blues, even like his eye color, like they made him like have green eyes.
He has green eyes.
But that's not the artwork.
Yeah.
He's like, this brown-eyed hunk who also, I think because they didn't give him hair, they just have him in his helmet. I feel like it's harder to have normal Drake versus Jewel Power Drake. I feel like you always want to just have Jewel Power Drake.
Yeah. And because his helmet is the wolf head also, you've got like, I guess I'll just put this wolf head up on my head.
And we've talked about this before, but the fact that the art, Greg was all about giving more detail to the toys, and yet the artwork, the wolf has like detailed fur, and then you look at the toy and it's just this smooth helmet.
And color wise as well, of course, in the show they are gray wolf helmets,
but here they're purple. Even though I think that obviously it's just a plastic, but then he has so many purple plastic pieces,
right?
Like the flag, it's just like okay, it's a lot of purple. Like there's not enough. I feel like browns and greens.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you have rather had a gray helmet? I mean, I know screen accuracy, but versus how the toy actually looks.
I guess I probably would have preferred it to be gray, but I'm sure it like didn't cost out to do one piece in a different color
In
plastic.
a different color of plastic. Right.
But I do wish it had a little more detail, I guess, at least on the helmet.
By the magic of the Sunstone, you're tuned into the Jewel Riders Archive.